Hey friends, so we are going to talk about sound deadening, and for me actually sound deadening was a no-brainer from the very beginning. When I got my van, I just immediately noticed how loud it was just to shut the doors. So I'm going to insert a clip now of what it sounded like shutting the door without sound deadening, and then I'll talk a bit about it afterwards. So have a little listen to this. So it's that ring at the end of the door shutting that I'm really talking about here. So I'm just going to play it a couple more times so you can really listen out for that like hum, that ring once the door shuts. So have a little listen again. Okay, so I hope that you know what I'm talking about now, but my van was actually just a lot of single layer metal everywhere inside. So I know that a lot of other vans that I've seen have more like double layer metal, especially when like around the window frames and in some of the other cavities in the van there's more double layer metal, and in the Movano mine was very single layer, quite flimsy on all of the walls, and it really was quite loud to drive. Every bump, every speed bump, every pothole, every little bit in the road really was making quite a lot of noise in the back. So I was really excited to see what difference the sound deadening was going to make. So I bought my sound deadening from Dodomat. Although I didn't actually buy it from Dodomat, I bought it from Amazon because I'm a cheapskate, and it was £1 cheaper on Amazon, and I think the delivery was a bit quicker as well. So I don't know if it's still like that. Have a little check yourself, and I'll drop some things in the description below, drop some links, and just let you know where I've bought some of the other stuff that you might find helpful in this video too. So yeah, it's so easy to apply, it really is actually. You just need to, I think they say cover 30% of the area, so I've kind of gone a bit overkill in some of the places because, like I said, the doors were one of the loudest things and one of the things I noticed. So I really wanted to kind of make a big difference on the doors, but around the rest of the van you only need to cover 30% of that area, so you know, a third of the area that you're looking to cover, and that they say is pretty sufficient for making a good difference to the sound. So you just need to cut yourself a square, just kind of hold it up, see what kind of a size you need for that space, and then you just peel off the backing and stick it on. And you can get lots of little rollers to help you really get the edges stuck on and really help. And the foil edges can actually be quite sharp if you're doing it with your hands, so be a bit careful, because I gave myself a couple of little like metal cuts on the creases of my fingers which were pretty nasty. So if you can find a roller that's pretty cheap, then that's, even a paint roller is pretty good. So I actually bought this little roller for about £3 when I was popping into Toolstation for something else. I can't even tell you at this point. I spend most of my life at Toolstation. Roll. This little roller, it was really helpful actually, and it's angled, so it's really useful even in the small spaces like up in here and stuff. So yeah, it was really cheap, so I'd recommend it, and it's mainly like wood and metal, so there's no plastic or anything. It's not going to be a single-use plastic tool that you're never going to use again. I think it's going to come in really handy for the installation, so bonus. But yeah, you just keep doing that all the way around the van in all of the places that you think it's going to lessen the noise while driving. I actually have a fiberglass roof, so I didn't put any on my roof because I didn't really think it would make a huge difference on that sort of plasticky fiberglass. But essentially the sound deadening is really going to help mainly with those thin single layer bits of metal. So these bits here that are really thin, see you've got this beam down here, well that's already a double layer, that's already taking some of the sound, that's already dampening the sound on this panel. So you wouldn't need to put sound deadening down that. The floor has all of these ridges in, and those are designed to dampen the sound in the floor already, so you don't need to put sound deadening on the floor. I mean, yeah, let's get on to the bit that you really want to see, which is how much difference it has made. So what I am going to do is I'm going to play both videos side by side. So I'm going to play the video again of the sound of the door shutting without the sound deadening, and then straight after I'm going to play you the video with the sound deadening. So here you go. Okay, did you hear it? I really hope you heard it. I'm going to play it one more time. So yeah, it's a big heavy door anyway. It is quite loud to shut, but that hum and that echo has completely gone, and it's made such a big difference for me shutting that sliding door, because like I say, it's a big heavy door, you really have to slam it, and now to just have that nice soft thud rather than that echoing ring is so much better. And actually I think I've got a bit left here. I think I'm going to use this leftovers for behind the door panels in the front ones, because like I said, I didn't do my roof, so I've got some left over. Usually I think people say that one roll is enough if you're, you know, not going to do the floor. One roll should be enough to do the whole van and make a difference. So I think I'm going to do the front doors. So this is what my van looks like, just to give you an idea of how much I've used and what that looks like. I will just say that your insulation and your cladding and whatever you're going to be putting on the walls will also help with that sound dampening just as you're driving along. Like once it's full with stuff, it's not going to sound as noisy when you're driving. So that's something to bear in mind a bit. What I'm using to insulate my van is actually really going to help with the sound dampening in itself. It's a bit controversial, maybe. It's a bit different. So I'm not going to say any more because I'm going to go into that next week. But the reason I really wanted to do the sound deadening was mainly for the doors and how loud they were to shut and that ring that you heard. So that was kind of the main reason I wanted to get sound deadening in, as well as just dampening sound around the van. I think it was worth it for me. But yeah, I think that pretty much concludes this week's video. I hope you've taken something useful away from this, or you've just enjoyed catching up on the conversion. But I would love to see you next week, especially if you want to find out more about the installation. So hit subscribe and come and join me, and I'll see you soon.